In less than a month, I'll be having gastric bypass surgery, and I wanted to film my journey on how I got here and my recovery and everything. But first, I wanted to make a video on how I got here, and I had been looking into it for months, but especially the weeks before I finally saw my surgeon. And I was looking all over, YouTube, TikTok, everything. And most people post about VSG, the gastric sleeve, not the gastric bypass. And there's not a lot of personal accounts for it. There just seems to be videos about it online on what the difference is, but nobody makes videos on their experience. So I want to make a follow along with me vlog on how I got here, what it took for me to get approved for surgery, how all of the different appointments went, all the different exams that you have to do to get approved, and yeah. So basically, after deciding that I did want to try to figure out how to do gastric bypass or sleeve, I was still a little bit indecisive, but I was leaning more towards the gastric bypass. I wanted to figure out where I should go for that. One of my friends went to one hospital. My father was a recent patient at a different hospital that was an amazing hospital, so I was really leaning toward that hospital at first. And then another random hospital in New York as well that just had a good reputation. All three hospitals are in New York. I'm in New York. But after having spoken to them on the phone, emailed back and forth with them, seeing their requirements, and just seeing how they treat patients, and knowing two patients out of the three hospitals, that was really helpful, and that really helped me make my decision. And of course, it's not to bash any one hospital or say that one hospital is better than the other, but different departments, they have different staff members, and who answers the phone can really make or break, what patient is going to go to what hospital. You are the person that I'm going to call every time I maybe have a question about anything, about an appointment, scheduling something, changing something. So I want to make sure that whoever I'm calling, there's someone that cares about what my question is or cares about what it is that I'm about to say. So I didn't want to call a place and have them mispronouncing my name, having a wrong date of birth, not knowing what I'm calling for, keeps me on hold for a long time. So that was really a deciding factor on which hospital I would end up at. So I made 3 appointments. I made an appointment at each of the hospitals, but I only actually went to one appointment. And here's why. The first hospital that I had an appointment with, it's a very good hospital. My father was a patient at that hospital. I loved the staff, and they were just so helpful going through my father's health journey, like with me and my family. They were very helpful. They were very amazing. But when I was speaking on the phone to anyone from that hospital, it felt very impersonal. Why? Because that hospital is very large. They see tens of thousands of patients. There's patients that stay there for weeks, months, until the end of their life. And then there's patients that go in and out, and they have like 1 hour appointments. So they're answering probably like 100 phone calls in a day. It felt so corporate and impersonal. And so that's why I didn't go with that first hospital. The second hospital, they sent me a video, like a video presentation that I had to watch and answer questions first. It was very helpful, it was very useful, but it felt impersonable. It felt like I was going to have to jump through some hoops with this hospital. It was a much smaller hospital, a very, very, very much smaller hospital. And I wanted to like it, but I just didn't. They spelled my name wrong. They kept confusing me for another patient on the phone. And I have a very unique name, so that was like kind of frustrating for me. I'm like, it's for you to confuse me with someone else, that's not the vibe. The final hospital, This is where a friend of mine from school had done her procedure, and she actually did also have gastric bypass. And when I met her, I could not tell. She looked like she had been that size her entire life. She didn't look like someone that was struggling to lose weight. She didn't look like someone that struggled with eating habits, like someone that picked themselves apart. And I really loved that about her. And I had never like asked anything about like, her gym routine or what she eats or anything like that. But, from since I met her, I was like, she seems like a very within herself, confident, healthy type of person. And then one random day she mentioned to me, like, oh yeah, I've had weight loss surgery and blah, blah. And I was like, I had already been looking into the journey. And so I asked her, like, oh, what hospital did you go to and all this stuff. She was very, 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 I love you, Layla. I love you. She's very supportive. She answers all of my questions. It feels like having a nurse in my pocket. Like, she's just amazing. But she told me about this hospital. Of course, I wanted to go and figure out and see everything for myself. So I did do that. And so that's the only appointment that I ended up going to. I didn't go to any of my other appointments. I just felt like I didn't love the way that I was treated. And if I'm in a hospital getting a procedure done where you are going to cut into me, I want to love how I feel when I'm there. And I want to know that I'm going to have that support that I need and not just and in and out, like, you know? But basically, that's the process that I went through to decide which hospital I was going to go through with. And of course, if I would have went to this hospital and not liked how my first appointment went, then I could still change hospitals. It's never too late. You can be on the operating table and they're about to give you the anesthesia, and you can be like, you know what, never mind, I don't feel comfortable here, and you can change your hospital from today to tomorrow. It's up to you. It's your body. It's your choice. Take power in that. Don't do anything to your body that you're not 100% sure about. Of course, it's normal to have doubts, to have anxiety, to feel scared. That is normal. But you are the one that can decide. You have the power to change what doctor you see, what nurse you see. Take your decisions into your own hands. Don't let anybody make a decision for you. Don't do anything that you don't want to do, basically. So that's it for this video. On the next video, I will share with you guys how my first appointment went, and I'll share with you what hospital I decided to go with.